investors trust, confidence in the petroleum industry of Nigeria. Again, let me say something. You know, Nigeria suffered a great deal in 2016. Through his own efforts too, prices of crude have been stabilized. That have brought hope and faith in the electorates that have kept us in office. Minister, I would say you have done well. We thank God on your behalf and congratulate you on these landmark achievements, particularly for the harmonious relationship which we have had in the past 3 years. God bless, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
And God bless you too. It's so exciting to hear from members of the National Assembly being on the same page with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and their agencies. At least those summonses have paid off. It's so exciting. And as a consequence of that, we'll also like to hear from another member of the National Assembly, this time the Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, Honorable Joseph Akinlaja.
Thank you. My own will be briefer than the brief. I stand on the existing protocol. I congratulate the minister with her president and the able Minister of State who have been driving the policy of oil. I will speak for downstream because if production is affected, the Nigerians will not know about it much. It's only the economy that we know. But if there's no fuel at the pump head, it will seem as if the economy has collapsed. This time last year, we were on the street. Part of our brief is not to go to a filling station, but because Nigeria, who elected us, want fuel, we were on the street. NNPC established war room without going to Northeast to fight insurgents. But with the effort of the ministry this year, we are assured that there will be no fuel scarcity and people will move during the Yuletide seamlessly. So I want to commend the minister, the ministry, the agencies, and Mr. President for this, for not going through the hassle. But what is about to beat the mosquito bites, which is debt for the stakeholders. I'm told that by tomorrow they will be paid part of it. Please pay them so that there will be no crisis. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. The Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Honorable Joseph Akinlaja. I just want to let us know that due to the importance of this occasion, it's being transmitted live globally, real time. So whatever we're doing here is being seen by millions of not only Nigerians, but Nigerians in diaspora and those in the international community. Courtesy of NNPC, I almost forgot to add that. Yeah, we are getting to the beam point of this ceremony. And that is the keynote address by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Emmanuel Ibe Kachuku. It is written as an address, but I tell you he's just going to deliver a speech. He's not going to read any address. I know him so well. But he's going to do that within time. Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir.
Your Excellency, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the boss of all bosses, the distinguished chair of the Senate Upstream Committee, my good brother and friend, Senator Lashadura, the chair of the House of Rep upstream, Honorable Nwokolo, and of course the chair of the House Committee on Downstream, Comrade Akinlaja, my permanent secretary, heads of parastatals under the ministry, captains of industry, friends, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, let me start by thanking you for being here. I'm going through a different phase of my career, which is trying to go on campaigns, and I'm learning the ropes. So I'm barely hobbling from point to point, learning as I go. But I'm glad that the permanent secretary, as always, keeps an efficient rein on the ministry and makes sure that things happen on time. Otherwise, if you left it to me, things will go wrong. So I thank you very much, and I thank all the heads of parastatals. I think today really is the day to celebrate them much more than me. Sometimes I take the limelight for all the achievements, but there are lots and lots of people who labor night and day to make sure things work well, from the group manager of NNPC, the heads of DPR, NCDMB, all the parastatals. I have had an extremely lovely working relationship with them. I've done that by letting them drive their shops and driving the policies behind them, but giving deadlines. And we all agree and work together. So it's been a harmonious working relationship, and I thank them very much for the confidence and what they've delivered over the last 2 years. I think if there's any ministry that is at least, and please, I do not forget to recognize my brother and friend and colleague, the Honorable Minister of State for Health. Please forgive me. Thank you very much for coming. He's not here not because he's just from South like myself. He's here because he's a very good friend. And he worries about the environmental issues that happen in the oil industry much more than anybody does. So thank you very much for being here. I think if there's anything I thank them for, is the fact that the last 3 years, if there's one sector where you would need to see the challenges that this administration faced, it's certainly the oil sector. We started in a very laborious way. Oil production down to 800,000 barrels when we were here. Price of products then 95 or 98, but fuel queues literally all over the place. I say that when His Excellency appointed me as Group Managing Director of NNPC, I had come to see him that morning, which was the second meeting, and I was still working in my good old ExxonMobil. And when we finished our conversation, I said I was going back to Lagos. He said, no, you have to start today. And I said, well, there's something called I need to give notice. As Vice Chairman of ExxonMobil, I needed almost 3 to 4 months notice. So, well, this is national call. You have to start today. Least he should have told me that fuel queue were just looming in the background. Because then I started, and a week later, the fuel queues hit me. So it was like baptism by fire. You know, and we gobbled through it, lots of quick policies, lots of quick steps, trying to understand the system, trying to deal with the issues. But clearly one of the mandates that was given them was very clear: transparency. You needed to walk back from the past. The issues of corruption that were looming all over the world had to disappear. No favoritism in terms of contracts, transparency in terms of your decisions, be very firm. And so 2 weeks later, of course, like you knew, we took the very first bold step of letting go the entire top executive of NNPC, the entire executive directors. That was a boom movement. And thereafter, you know, actions were, quite frankly, moving with almost a military alacrity, week by week, just to stabilize the system. But that was the sort of thing we had to basically think as we ran, you know, just to make the system survive. National reserves were absolutely down to the dealt. I think we had about 15 or 16 billion dollars as our reserve then. We needed to grow it. We weren't sure whether we could pay salaries, whether we could meet recurrent expenditures of federal government. So everything really was looking at the ministry to try and deliver results. I thank him very much that in those very difficult first months, he had absolute confidence to let one make some major policy decisions that we needed to run with to make changes in the system. And it gave one the audacity to be able to have great hope and great action.